amazing experience so far. And we're very, very close to having the piece the way it should be. But there are several things to say. And let me start one at a time, starting from the very beginning. We'll sit for a while, that was actually perfect. And the way we started with the breath, also perfect. Then it sort of just sped up just a little bit too much, you know, with maracas and everything. But it was actually, I'd be very happy with the beginning the way it was. And I couldn't always hear the Mexican side, so Brian or Ruben or Jorge, Ivan, if you have comments, then make them right now. Anything? Are you guys good?
Just the pick a little slower.
Now on our side, the trek to the farthest position for player one is long. So you need to get there a little bit faster. Remember, in every case, you never walk and play at the same time. You play or breathe or whatever, and then you walk. And then you stop and you play. So there's a ritual on it. So you're never, I mean, you saw me with the triangle. Mostly I was just coaching. So don't take that as an example. You walk and then play. And I think we need to get out maybe a little bit faster. It feels from this side, right? And you guys probably are okay. You're in a very different setup. Yeah. Okay, good. Then, this is the most important thing. When you hear a conch shell, that's not the sign for the drummers to start. That is the sign that we're at that part of the piece. I don't think we should hear any drums until there's a kind of critical mass of conch shells. So make sure that you hear more than just me. Hear them coming all over. And the same thing with the conch, very deliberate, very, very ritualistic. My plan, some instruments I can't carry, but my plan for everything else is to walk also, so that I'm also out there and you'll know when the conch is there. So don't pay any attention to my movements. You have your own plan. And so the drums will start much later than they did in the rehearsal. That's fine. We needed to move things through quickly. Now, when you play the drums, hit them harder. There's no such thing as a mezzo forte stroke in this piece because you won't be able to hear it from any distance. So what we want is the impact of the drum, and especially if you've got a high drum which doesn't have the bottom, hit it. And the same thing with the cymbals. This is not the moment to practice your lachamat. This is the moment to connect with your inner metal self. So play them hard, and then it's an amazing sound from a distance. When it obviously don't do anything louder than you feel comfortable, but for this once, get comfortable. So a little bit louder, and I notice on the south side also cymbals are playing a little too gentle. Let's when they come in, play them. Now the same thing with the sirens. Wait till there's a critical mass of sirens until you start going on, etc., etc. You get the idea. It's not a trigger, it's just an environment, right? The sirens in general on our side were too soft. When we have the little ones, I know when you do the 10, it's only marked or whatever, mezzo piano. Forget that. Bring them up just a little bit more so that we can hear them, and make sure that the triggers are engaged so that the filters are open and you can really hear that. Anything on your side with sirens?
It's the same with the sirens, right? The sirens will be playing for a while before other waves, the drums, and cymbals begin.
Yeah, sure. So when I start the clangs, I will make a circle so that everybody can see that that's where we are, right? So that's a circle, and Ryan will do the same thing on his side, and the same thing with the triangle. So the beginning and the end of the piece needed to space out a little bit. Middle was fantastic. When I start the triangle, I'll start it from quite a long ways. I'll start it out by you guys. And Ryan, I would suggest the same thing. Then follow. Everybody needs to walk, right, and do that at the same time. Birdsong people, especially the ones in here, don't play until I come until you hear a triangle. If you can't hear a triangle, don't play the birdsong. All the shapes for the waves, that's triangles, drums, and cymbals need to be bigger. So again, this just doesn't do it. Everything has to be bigger. And then when you come in, when I start to come in, I'll be the first one in, you start following. If you're a drummer or a cymbal player and you realize that at your rate of work, you will be out here until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then potentially move it along a little bit, just a touch. All right, and so that means that, I think on this side it's pretty good. You okay? Yeah, good. And then everybody finish and walk in a sort of ritual way back here, and we'll sit here. By this point, all the bird songs are going to be present, you know, and so we'll sit and we'll listen. Now, the thing we didn't do, because I just stopped it because we want to take a little break and have something to eat and rest before we play, is that the bird song can go on for a few more minutes beyond where we were. And there can be a little song and then silence and then one more. So we don't really ever know when it's exactly going to stop. So when you hear the first silence, that's not necessarily the end of the piece. You know, make sure that from the time we're sitting here, can we just be totally calculating? Can we have 3 minutes of birds after everybody is sat here? Then when the last person has played the bird, let's just listen. The whole reason we do this piece is so that we can develop an ear for the sounds of nature. And so after the piece is over, let's just listen to this beautiful part of the world, right? And when it's time to get up, or when people are tired of listening, it will be over. But there's not a kind of ka-doom-cha moment. Yes.
So to that end, I think that the actual bird song
Let's make the bird songs more spaced out, so that it's not, you're not just practicing them, but you're playing, you're listening, you're playing again, you're listening. Basically, that's the way for the whole piece. Dustin, have I forgotten anything?
I just have one quick thing for group one. On this side, if you want a new megaphone or a larger megaphone, there's a whole batch over there on the cart.
So
if you
use
have
a
like
little teeny one. We've
might
made
upgrade
big
it.
ones for you. You have a question?
Do you want us to move back during the triangle portion like we just did, or was that just to speed the...
Well, I might have speeded it up a little bit, but the triangle is the same thing. You play, and then you walk.
Okay, so you do want us to move back during that?
Oh, absolutely. When you're playing triangle, you are moving back. You're doing the reverse of the megaphone. And again, just chart your course, you know, so that basically we want to have this sort of slow dissolve outward and an equally sort of slow regrouping. And so if you're the only one out there, you know, or if you feel like you're way ahead, slow down. You know, we'll listen to each other. Other questions? And any questions from our amigos de la suite?
If you don't have a glockenspiel, you should be aware that you shouldn't keep playing the cymbal. You know, you should act as though you do have a glockenspiel, and you'll just re-emerge to the center a little sooner. Because we had a couple people continue to play their section much longer. If you had the glockenspiel, of course, you would have played it. But yeah, we need to be aware of that. I think.
Did you hear the piccolo? Did you hear the piccolo? Oh, you got it.